Resident Evil 7 is incredibly deceptive at first. You would be forgiven for thinking that it's nothing more than another first-person stealth horror game. This trend was started by Amnesia, elevated by Outlast, and finally polished off with Alien Isolation, with several poor attempts in between. And initially, Resident Evil 7 looked no different. Fans were already weary about the change to a first-person perspective, and were only made wearier by gameplay demos that failed to show anything we haven't already played in other games. And, in actuality, for the first hour of Resident Evil 7, it appears as if those fears have been confirmed. But after that initial hour-long stretch of setup, everything falls into place. You find a puzzle piece to open a very classic Resident Evil-looking door, which then takes you into the game proper, and Resident Evil 7 suddenly becomes a true Resident Evil experience. Once in the mansion proper, you are given several areas to explore, though your progress will soon be halted by several locked doors and puzzles with missing items. Then it's up to you. Resident Evil 7 requires you to navigate the mansion in such a way that will have you exploring, backtracking, switching items, retrieving items, and opening shortcuts. Like the mansion in the original game, which was made even better in the remake, I guarantee you could manage to draw a rough map of the area after your first playthrough. Locked doors and puzzles are marked on the map, but it's up to you to remember that they're there when you obtain a required key item. Even saving requires you to backtrack to specific rooms, though there are checkpoints after significant events. Those aside though, it means that saving is up to the player, and failure to do so could result in a lot of lost progress. Additionally, you have to manage your inventory, ensuring that you have enough space to pick up items and determining which items are worth keeping on you. If your inventory is full and you need to pick up a required key, you'll need to head back to the save room and place unneeded items in a chest. And incidentally, this chest is in every save room and your items always follow. But what all this achieves is a real understanding of the environment. The mansion is one of a few areas in the game, but each one achieves the same thing to greater or lesser degrees depending on the size of the area. Of course, when you are navigating through corridors, you'll be fighting enemies. Just like the Resident Evil games before number 4, you can make the choice to either fight or run, and you need to manage your ammunition because bullets are scarce and the enemy's tough, so missing a shot can be a big problem. But these combat rules only apply to the standard mold creatures. The other enemies include the main 3 members of the Baker family. Each one has their own specific boss fight, so when they're skulking around while you're trying to unlock doors, they can't be killed. The best you can do is hide, or slow them down, making this already disturbing family even more creepy. Which I suppose is one of the most important factors. Is Resident Evil scary? Yes, in a few different ways. Whether it be Jack interrogating you at the dinner table, the horrible implications within some of the notes and puzzles, or being stalked in the dark by a mold creature. There's a real dedication to slow, creeping tension, punctuated by loud, uncomfortable situations. Though it's not afraid to have fun with its horror either. Some moments will make you laugh, and I'm sure that was the intention. Some parts really evoke a certain B-movie grindhouse quality. It's aware of its own stupidity, but whilst being funny, it's also unrelentingly tense. Things do start to feel somewhat rushed in the final couple of hours, which is about the point when the tension starts to dribble away, only to nudge you to a somewhat anticlimactic ending. But nothing will take away from the main bulk of the game. It is the original definition of survival horror through modern eyes. It's a phrase that might have been overused during the build-up to this game, but Resident Evil 7 is absolutely a return to the series' roots. It just so happens to be in first person now.